All right, well.
All right, another episode, yeah?
Here we are. We find ourselves on episode 2 of
Old and New.
Old and New.
God, I hate you.
I hate you more, so it's like...
I'm talking to time, not you.
No, I was talking to you, so... Glad we got that cleared out.
Yay.
Woo.
All right, so we are talking about the one and the only, the oh-so-favorite, our favorite,
Definitely
Star
favorite.
Wars.
You can't go wrong with it, ever.
You know, I made it a point. I made it a very strong point that when I became a father, that Star Wars was going to be in my, universe. So when my little one was old enough to be, he'd run into my room at 3 years old, and he'd jump up on the bed and be like, Daddy, 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 can we watch Star Wars? And I'd be like, oh, God, I'm so proud of you, but I'm so fucking tired. All right. I was like, you know what to do.
After 3 dinner services.
Yeah. And so he'd jump down. He'd run over to the little TV stand that we had in my bedroom, and he'd pull out 4, 5, and 6. Always grabbed 4, 5, and 6.
Never 1, 2, and 3.
He usually always put in Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi, but it's usually one of those two. And then he knew exactly what to do. He put it in the DVD player. He pushed it closed. He never pressed the button. He just pushed it closed. And I was like, "You're gonna break the goddamn disc tray."
I got yelled at for that one too.
When was the last time somebody heard the word disc tray? And then
Jesus Christ, Xbox 360, guaranteed.
Right. And then he'd jump up on the bed, and he'd start watching Star Wars, and I'd of course fall back asleep. He'd give me an extra 20 minutes. And then, of course, it would be that, Daddy, 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 Daddy. Look.
It's this part. It's this part.
I know. I've seen this. But, of course, I would end up sitting up and watching the movie with him. But it was just, since I was a kid, it's always been that beautiful, nostalgic, just amazing set of movies.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's walk through it. We're going to talk about the beautiful past. The 1 through 6. All right. So, we were talking earlier about the time frame, right?
Very, very confusing time frame. That's now I understand, because for those of you out there, I was always under the impression that, because they're labeled 1 through 6, they were released 1 through 6. But shocker, no, the fuck they weren't.
No.
At all.
It scares me that you thought that was...
I was born in 2000.
Okay, so...
Man, I googled one of those movies and it said 1983. That blew my mind.
God.
And apparently that was the first release, but then it got it got remastered and then re-released. What?
It was remastered at least 3 times, and then...
Excuse me, what?
Yeah. Yeah, with the progress of VHS and things like that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, they remastered the movie, then they remastered the movie again, then they remastered it a 3rd time. So they had the original.
Right.
They
but
had
each
the original,
remaster was just updating what system it was out on.
God bless my parents. They went and bought every single one of these. So they had the absolute original box VHS set.
Okay.
And that was the one where you had the old New Hope poster of Luke shooting the lightsaber into the sky.
Straight up, yeah.
That was cut in between all 3 sides of the boxes of the movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, they had that one, and then they re-released Star Wars in a more remastered version. Then they did it again, and this was the gold box at this point. The gold and black box Star Wars movies. And then they did the special effects version where they added all the CGI.
Right.
But this was more around
the extra scenes.
Yeah, this was more around the 2000s.
Yeah, that was I think that said 2002 or
2005, when they started doing the CGI scenes and when they came out with the first Star Wars.
Right.
And so when they did all those after episode 1, when they, for the people that don't know this, when they did episode 1 and they destroy the Death Star in episode 6, they show all the different places around the universe, like Coruscant and Naboo and all this other shit, in episode 6 of them celebrating the Death Star being blown up. Those were never in the original fucking movie.
Endor too, I remember that.
They were never in there. The band playing in Jabba's hut or Jabba's palace in Return of the Jedi was never a part of the movie. Not once. When they go to Tatooine in A New Hope and you see the stormtroopers riding on the back of those giant fucking lizards, can't remember the name right now. That was not in the original cut of the movie. Not in the original cut of the movie. Not at all.
Huh.
So it's interesting being a fucking human that has watched.
You watched it all together.
I watched the first ones.
Versus
I grew up with the first ones. Now you can't find them. You can't find that original. You cannot find the original.
You can't find
cut.
the originals unless you have like the original like VHS.
If you go into Disney Plus right now, you are not going to see the original cut of Star Wars. You're gonna see the ones with the CGI additions to the movie.
That's really interesting.
And so those.
I wonder if your parents still have the VHS tape.
I don't think so.
Probably not.
I do not think so. I mean, they might. But out of those ones, which one was your favorite movie?
You're saying
4, 5, and 6, or actually, let's just stick with 1 through 6.
1 through 6.
So you have Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Jedi, New Hope,
Sith.
Empire Strikes Back, Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Out of all 6 movies, Revenge of the Sith is your favorite.
No, I'm saying you said Revenge of the Jedi. It's Revenge of the Sith.
Did I say Revenge of the Jedi? Yeah. Well, Revenge of the Jedi was actually supposed to be the title of Return of the Jedi.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was supposed to be the original title, but then George Lucas realized that Jedi don't take revenge,
Yeah,
so then he changed it to Return of the Jedi.
Okay, so 4 is A New Hope. Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 is A New Hope. 5 is
Empire
Strikes Back, and then 6 is Return of the Jedi. Okay, so which one is my favorite? That's a great question. Let's see. I would have to say.
Don't take too long on this.
It's a lot of thought process because you have Empire Strikes Back, which is like the aftermath of.
That's the answer.
I mean,
that's the answer to the question. It's always Empire Strikes Back.
Right.
It's like when people ask, "What's your favorite Indiana Jones movie?" It's The Last Crusade. How dare you? Go stand in traffic.
Okay.
Go outside right now and go stand in traffic.
As long as I can sue after.
Wrong with you?
But so you're saying Empire Strikes Back? I mean, that's like it's hard not to say that
because it's the best fucking movie.
It's when the tides turn. It's when it sets up the whole universe for what it is that we know it today. Even though
all right, let me ask
7,
you this.
8, 9 exists.
Let me ask, are you Rebel or are you Empire?
Come on, dude.
Well, which one are you?
Well, I guess that's a different question from like Jedi Sith, is it?
No, it's the
Not
same
really.
question.
Yeah, it's the same question.
It's pretty much the same question.
Okay, well, I'm Sith through and through. Like, come on, dude.
Well, we'll see about that.
You put me in a room.
Would you kill me to take my place?
Fuck yeah. The hell? Remember when everybody was like, "Oh my God, Anakin killed like a room full of children because he was going to the dark." Okay, and what?
I'm sorry, but if we're looking at this on a really realistic basis, a lot of them goddamn kids were gonna ask for Slurpees and money and shit. They won't sit still. Anakin did a lot of parents a favor. No,
shit.
That's dark.
That's very dark. That is very dark. But at the same time,
I don't mean that.
One of those kids could have turned into the next Darth Sidious. Who knows?
No, there's only one Darth Sidious, fucking apparently. All right, so your top 10 favorite.
Top 10
of the 1 through 6.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna have to say Empire Strikes Back.
I said top 10 of 1 through 6.
Yeah,
that made no fucking sense.
That made no sense. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to say Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back. All right. Well, I mean, I'm right there with you. Empire Strikes Back is probably the best. I really enjoy Revenge of the Sith. Out of 1 through 3, Revenge of the Sith is probably the best.
Yeah, no.
The
3
best
is
of the
definitely
3.
better than
Even though
1 and
like
2.
there's just so much, and we don't have enough time to get through that.
We don't. But 3 is
The fight scene between Anakin and Obi at the end of the movie.
Come on. People still rave about that shit today. But then again, the fight scene between
Come on.
Anakin,
You were the chosen one.
You were the chosen one, Anakin.
It was the best shit.
I have the high ground. But no, even the fight scene between Anakin and Dooku, like
that one was that was the only good thing when it came to
very much so.
Attack of the Clones as well. Like you got to see
but
Yoda.
you know what still pisses me off? The fact that they still cut out some or choreography from that fight scene.
Mm-hmm.
So
a lot of it too, which really sucked.
Yeah, I saw a video on Instagram earlier today, just like the whole fight scene. It's just like, why did you cut this out,
dude? I remember when they casted Hayden Christensen. I was so fucking pissed. Really? I was like, there's no way this scrawny asshole motherfucker is gonna be goddamn Darth Vader.
Right.
Like no, like no. And then when they did Attack of the Clones, I was immediately out because I watched it and I just fuck this.
That's just because they fucked it up.
And then they did Revenge of the Sith, and then I remember seeing one clip of him fighting Obi-Wan where they were supposed to be on Mustafar and all that, and his long hair. He had a look about him that looked like Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
And it was that like,
holy shit! It's like you might be able to.
Okay. But then, honestly, I had to give it to him. The dedication that he's put into the character, I can't hate him for it. It was just fucking great. Who's your favorite Star Wars character?
That is so difficult. Oh my god. Because you got like people like Darth Revan's an easy one.
We're not. That's going past.
Yeah. But it's a Star Wars character. You know? It's just like
Pass. But like 1 through 6 characters.
1 through 6 characters.
And if you say Han Solo, I'm reaching over this table and slapping
I'm never saying Han Solo. I've honestly I respect Han Solo.
You're wrong. I love Han Solo.
I respect him as a character, but I've never seen him as like oh my god, I love this guy. No. I will say for a little stretch it was Mace Windu. That was definitely biased because fucking black.
Fucking black.
It's fucking black. What else do you want? But,
I honestly think Plo Koon was a Negro.
Plo Koon was a fucking badass.
He was a Negro.
He was a Negro.
He was an
alien Negro.
Yeah, exactly. Like that motherfucker was gangster.
Even in Clone Wars, Plo Koon was that motherfucker.
Yeah. That is. They did him dirty.
Kit Fisto as well. And they did Kit Fisto dirty too. But no, Plo Koon was he was badass because
he was that unsung badass.
Yeah,
that,
very much so.
He never got what he deserved.
I guess
Anyways,
the justice, right?
Yeah. Favorite character.
But yeah, are we talking we're just talking 1 through 6 movies, or we're talking everything? Okay.
I guess you can go the whole universe, but that's
a lot of characters.
Well, then just your all-time, your favorite number one. I can tell you mine. Mine is forever and always will be Lando Calrissian.
Lando.
It's all about Lando.
I respect that.
Always has, always will. Hello there. What have we here?
It's fucking snazzy ass.
He's the fucking shit.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna. Damn, Ahsoka's not in 1 through 6. I really do fuck with Ahsoka's character, but that's just Clone Wars bias. I really like the dynamic of her character, but if we're going off of 1 through 6, I'm probably gonna have to pull the trigger on. Honestly, I'm gonna have to say Anakin. As generic as that is.
Anakin.
He was the chosen one. Honestly, it has a lot to do with just his fighting style. It has a very, very large bias on his fighting style.
I'll give you that.
Because they emphasized how unique it was of his being able to essentially combat everything.
Yeah.
He was able to combat an overwhelming amount of blaster fire. He was able to have a very offensive lightsaber style, but at the same time a very defensive lightsaber style.
So, I feel like I'm cutting you off. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Nope.
What was the dumbest fucking thing out of
The dumbest.
most stupid shit that they've ever fucking put in there?
Shit.
I know a lot of people are going to say Jar Jar Binks.
Why was that the first thought that I had? Like, what planet were they on? What's Jar Jar's planet?
Naboo.
Yeah.
Naboo.
Holy fuck.
That whole race of aliens, I think, was pretty just not necessary. The battle droids, not from the first one, not from Phantom Menace.
Yeah, not from Phantom Menace.
But the battle droids from that point forward were
from
dumb.
Attack of the Clones forwards?
Because they all had the same voice. They just didn't make any fucking sense.
Hey, what are you doing over there?
Roger. Kidding. I mean, I have a lot more stupid shit to complain about when it comes to Star Wars. Especially fucking Mando, but we'll that's later. We'll get to that one. Anywho,
Mando did touch on that pretty well. Like, it was nice seeing, like, I guess the nostalgia part of them bringing back the battle droids.
Yeah.
So.
But that it's that episode.
Yeah.
Anywho, yeah, I think 1 through 6, the dumbest shit I think would probably for me would be Anakin's temper in Attack of the Clones.
Oh, that shit was so. It was like he was just pissed off, just
for absolutely no reason.
Like, it was just like, yeah, but like, why?
That whole
like
scene.
He's a pissed off teenager.
Yeah, the whole scene of him. What was it? They were animals, and they killed them like animals. He's holding me back. It's like, dude, insert a new tampon and just shut the fuck up. Like, enough of this crybaby shit ass.
Stop bitching.
All right, let's I don't want to keep fucking talking about 1 through 6.
I could go fucking on and
forever.
on.
There's a lot of shit that I could bitch about when it comes to Attack of the Clones, which is why I talked about it the least.
Attack of the Clones is...
Yeah. All right. Let's. What about now? Like the shit that we've seen now.
The shit that we have seen now.
So we're talking, unfortunately, 7 through 9.
Jesus Christ.
Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and the ungodly, unfortunate Rise of Skywalker. There is some light at the end of this tunnel we get to talk about, which I don't know. I mean, even just saying the last 3 movies' names feels like a sandpaper dildo in your butthole, but
I was thinking a sandpaper fleshlight. Whatever.
something sandpaper on a very sensitive part of your body.
A lot of pain.
All right, so let's just... What the fuck?
What the fuck, indeed.
No, really, like, what the fuck?
I feel like they, like, started writing, and then they just got, like, much like this podcast, drunk halfway in between.
On that note, sir, cheers.
Cheers.
For anybody listening, we don't do this show
sober.
100% sober.
All right, more like 100% intoxicated.
For anybody that has never seen Force Awakens, which by now, if you haven't, something fucking wrong with you.
Well,
actually, if you haven't seen any
really.
Star Wars, there's something fucking wrong with you.
Well, yes, but if you haven't seen, like, the recent Star Wars, I don't blame you, because that shit is, like, painful.
Okay, so, recap. Force Awakens starts off, like on some random fucking planet with a brand new fucking droid and Oscar Isaac, the most...
BB-8.
It's literally A New Hope, like, all over again.
Yeah.
But it's just some new fucking...
It's just a different cast.
fresh style of doing it. And, you know,
Try to
like,
be innovative.
we're looking for, like, fucking Luke Skywalker. And,
Right.
he's got these plans, this map to fucking nowhere? Or somewhere?
Who made the map?
Like...
So many questions.
Well, I don't...
So many questions.
Because they were like, well, he has a chunk of the map, and we just, we don't know where Luke is at.
Right.
You can't just go to the last part of the map that you have and then look around.
Kind of generalized.
I don't know. Maybe it's a wide range of fucking spots.
I mean,
If this nigga's that important, wouldn't you look?
he got to be hiding pretty damn good if you can't find him.
He's hiding better than Bigfoot.
This is a
he's out there. He's just
Loch Ness monster can't even keep
right.
up with him.
He's winning.
He's in that shit.
Luke Skywalker's out there like,
Can't touch this.
got it, done. All right.
Done, bitch.
So, yeah, they can't find fucking Luke Skywalker. They find some hobo girl on a planet named Jakku, who turns out to be fucking Force sensitive. Somehow, the Force guides her to. Why am I even explaining the fucking movie? Why am I doing this?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's such a shit movie. Holy fuck.
Hey, all right. So when they first brought it out, I was like, okay, like this is.
You could work with it.
Yeah, you know.
But then
like
you
it
realize
wasn't-
it's just a cop out.
Yeah. By the time they got to the Star Killer base,
Ugh.
that's when I was done.
Like when we started getting introduced to what was it, like FN 1297 or something.
Yeah. I'm like, why?
Eh.
Fuck are we doing?
Why are we doing it?
No clue. So anywho, all right. So, what was the bigger, what the fuck moment in 7 through 9?
If I'm gonna be honest, Finn as a character, like his whole character, really annoyed me because
No
it
shit.
was like, and it's not even because like it's like a black character, none of that. It was just because like it was like a character that was just there, and they kept trying to force him as like he's important to everything that's going on.
He didn't really do anything.
But he didn't do anything. It was really fucking annoying. I can't lie to you because it was just like, oh my god, they're like hyping up Finn. Oh my god, he was a stormtrooper. Now he's this, and now he's like, oh, he can wield a lightsaber. Holy shit, what's gonna happen?
know,
to him? Nothing.
They did that, and they did nothing with it. You know,
Exactly.
In Force Awakens, he picks up the lightsaber.
Yeah.
And he does nothing with it then, but
No.
they gave you hope, like, oh, this
Yes.
guy might
Oh,
be Force sensitive.
It's potential, right? And they took that potential and flushed it down the toilet.
Flushed down the toilet. Oh, they slapped you in the fucking face with it and
Yes.
then, like, shook it in front of you, like, you wanted that, didn't you?
Like he used like a damn used dildo.
Really though. So, I agree with you there. Yeah, they really kind of pissed me off. Honestly,
Finn was a what the fuck.
Finn was a huge what the fuck.
Yes. I was very disappointed because it was just I had more expectations of like what they could do with the character.
I would say out of all three of them, there's a lot of what the fucks for me.
Yeah, definitely.
Rey was a huge what the fuck.
Yes.
Finn definitely was a huge what the fuck.
Yes.
Killing Han was a huge what the fuck.
Giant.
But I think one of the bigger what the fucks for me was Kylo Ren. Because it was one of those.
Just like.
I don't have another question for it. It's literally just what the fuck?
Like genuinely, just what the fuck?
Like I wanted to like this character. I love Adam Driver. He's a great fucking actor.
There's so much potential like everywhere.
And then like so all right. This is my dilemma with the whole thing. So they did Kylo in the first one. And it was like, okay, I'm Ben Solo and I went to the dark side. Blah 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 blah. I killed my dad. I'm now dark side. Got it. Last Jedi. Well, I think I'm turning light.
Maybe, but like
I don't have my helmet anymore, but now I have this whole new master.
Right.
I was like, okay, Snoke is interesting.
Right.
Never.
Oh, we're gonna be started
Then-
with Snoke.
Done with that character.
Right.
Just like a tampon. Let me just pull that out.
Pull that out, throw it away,
and throw it away. You know, that's done.
put a new one in.
It's exactly what they did.
They just replaced his ass.
Yeah, and then like he fights the Red Guard. That was a cool scene. The fucking ship going through hyperspace and cutting that fucking ship in half. That was a cool
dope.
fucking scene.
That was fucking dope.
The battle on the fucking white planet with the red. Dope ass fucking cinematography. I loved that whole scene. I thought it was great. And then they murdered it They murdered all that potential at the end of the movie.
Just like Anakin did all those kids.
Yeah. God damn it. You're not wrong, though. It really did. They brought Luke in. You were like, holy fuck, yeah. This nigga got a haircut.
Right.
And like, it wasn't him.
Luke coming in all fresh and shit.
Right.
Didn't mean jack shit.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Not a damn thing.
Ah, that sucks.
Shit. Speaking of Luke, when Rey finally fucking found him on the edge of the universe,
oh man,
butthole of whatever galaxy, he's just like,
I really feel like they did Luke wrong in these movies.
Very much so. Because it was like Luke was always depicted as like essentially the savior. Like the one that was like
he was the essentially he was the
chosen, like essentially he was the chosen.
So the prophecy wasn't about
Anakin.
It wasn't about Anakin.
It was about
Luke. He was the one who was going to bring balance to the Force.
Exactly.
Essentially, it kind of was about Anakin because he did destroy the Jedi because there was only so many Sith,
right?
And then he brought the Jedi down to like that level.
Yes,
but still,
they were still saying that Anakin, even after all of that, was not essentially the answer.
Yeah.
It wasn't the what I guess like the prophecy, right? Because that's what it was all about, was just being the prophecy. And when Anakin became Darth Vader, that wasn't like the end of it all. So when Luke came into place and was actually able to find the Anakin in Darth Vader and then combat Sidious and also the entire Empire itself, it was like they were headed down the right alley. It's like as I interpret it. But then they just like lost it somewhere along the way. It was just like
they lost it very much so.
Like Luke, like even in Mando, when Luke finds where Grogu is on the ship, and
Mando,
you know that fucking scene when Luke is like in his fucking cape chopping down all those damn droids, those assault droids, like they were fucking nothing, crushing them because of his teetering, I guess call it teetering use of the Force, because you know obviously he had that strong side of the light side.
Essentially Luke is a gray Jedi.
Yes, essentially. Right, but he was is a green lightsaber nomad?
No,
I don't remember the.
What I remember, I think it's Jedi Guardian.
It was Guardian and
I think it's Guardian. I can't remember.
I can't remember the other one because it was it was green and blue were like the two.
I thought blue was Counselor.
Counselor.
Consular, whatever the fuck.
Something like that.
I know that yellow is Sentinel. I know that one.
Right, because that was where the Jedi Temple, the Jedi guards who were there were the Sentinels. But when Luke was walking through that ship, trying to get through the helm where Grogu was, and they were held there with Moff Gideon, and everybody was in that part, dude. Like that was like one of the most badass moments of like Luke's like entire showing
in Star Wars history.
It's like
there's two scenes I can honestly say in like the entirety of Star Wars that were just one of those like they suck the air out of your lungs badass.
Yes.
Was Rogue One, when you see Darth Vader's lightsaber power up at the end of the dark hallway and he just mows through the fucking rebels like they're like fucking paper mache. Just and these guys are running for their lives trying to get like it was effortless. Did you ever see that meme? They like so they go from Rogue One. They show the Rogue One where Darth is looking at their ship as it escapes, and it goes to A New Hope. It goes to A New Hope, and he's talking to Princess Leia. The meme is like it's like this is a. Fuck, what was it? Like, this is a ambassadorship for blah, 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 blah. It's like, bitch, we just glassed a planet. just watched your ass fucking leave.
Oh my
It
god.
was fucking great. But
Holy
no,
shit.
that scene.
I gotta see that shit.
Oh, it's hysterical. That scene where Darth Vader just mows down those fuckers in the hallway. And then the scene where Luke shows up in Mando
Yeah.
and fucks up all those robots. Because at that moment, you're sitting there thinking, like, well, how the fuck are they going to get out of this?
There's just no way. Because
Yeah.
it's like Moff Gideon has them literally where he wants them. He is literally like gonna take Grogu for exactly whatever the fuck he has planned for him.
But, okay, can we literally just throw it out there? Scale of 1 to 10, Mando?
Mando?
9.
I was gonna say 9 too.
Straight fucking 9.
Shit, that shit's pushing 9.5.
My Boba was good.
Yes, but
Wasn't the
Boba,
best.
but Boba had a lot of like, it had a lot of Mando in it.
That's what killed it for me.
That's what it was.
It stopped being Boba the moment that you had 2 episodes of Mando, and then you brought him in
like
the 3rd
2
episode.
full episodes of
Yeah.
Mando. Not even just like, oh, he's
Exactly.
in that. No, it was his episode.
Yeah, no, you destroyed it at that point.
Yeah.
It wasn't. But then again, like, it wasn't.
But then again, Boba was some good shit, because
It was okay. Shit.
no, Boba was some good shit, because when he was on
Go ahead.
Tatooine
Uh-huh.
and he was learning from, I can't remember whatever that Tusken Raiders, whatever their
That
name,
shit was so long.
it was.
They dragged that bitch out.
It was dragged out, but it was bad.
It was good. I'm not gonna say it wasn't good, but
It
that
was badass.
I don't like when shows do more than 14 fucking flashbacks.
Okay. But like,
I get the flashbacks.
I get that, because like, you know, like we saw Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Ugh.
Spoilers, flashbacks a lot.
That's another episode.
But I don't know. It was like the way they did the flashbacks in Boba. It wasn't like it was obviously presented as a flashback, but it wasn't like something that was like forced upon.
So I want to say that they started them tastefully. The first couple ones were done okay, but then the next episode was like all flashbacks.
Yes.
And it was,
yeah, I can agree with that for sure.
Yeah, so Boba was okay. Obi-Wan I thought was great.
I mean, they did that well.
It dragged a little bit. A lot of the Sith Inquisitors.
Yes, very much so. Very, very fucking much so. I think there was like too large of an emphasis on the Inquisitors, but mainly because
I don't know if there was too much of an emphasis, but
the only reason I say that is because there was more than one, essentially. And I know that the Inquisitors are like, you know, like,
they're badasses.
yes, they're badasses. There's multiple of them that are just like trained to kill Jedi and bring in essentially what Darth Vader wants. But I don't know. It was just like,
My thing was that they didn't do anything with them.
exactly. That was my thing.
Yeah,
there was an emphasis on how many there were and how badass they were, but it was just like
They didn't do anything with them.
they didn't do jack shit.
They were like a spare dick in a porno. They just kind of sat there.
Exactly. They're all soft and shit.
Like, they didn't do much.
Exactly.
Like the main Inquisitor guy, like he was supposed to be a lot skinnier than he was.
Yep. Fucking
The
Han.
other ones, I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. Like they got good actors to do it. The black chick was cool.
Wasn't Han
Remember her
in that
name
shit?
now? Huh?
Han was one of them.
Han,
right?
yeah. Han from Fast and the Furious.
Man,
Like,
that
he
was Han.
That was when he got rid of his car and got really ugly. That's
Han.
the future.
Go back to Fast and Furious. That was your best role. You sitting in that car as it blew up was like. You did it
So
right.
like the what the fuck when it comes to 7, 8, and 9 and the shows would for me.
Rey Skywalker.
Oh fuck.
Rey Skywalker. Finn.
No, okay. Oh no, I'm sorry. Hold on. All of Rise of Skywalker is my huge what the fuck. Because
I'm sorry. Okay. My one thing.
Your
with
one
the whole,
thing?
Just the one thing
Just
that I'm
the
gonna
one thing?
in this moment.
You
I'm
sure
gonna
it's a one
emphasize
thing?
it.
Okay. If this turns out to be 2 or 3 things.
How the fuck? How can they explain the whole? Oh my god, Rey Skywalker and Kylo Ren. You guys are so in tune with the Force. You're practically in the same room. But wait, you're not. Explain that. Like when they were like, I don't know.
It's called force projection.
Oh yeah, it's force projection, not like force.
But they weren't the ones doing it apparently.
It's not force project. It's force projection, not force orgy, right? Like,
I mean, it might be now.
Because like, why the fuck was like Kylo Ren like, oh my god, I have Darth Vader's like melted helmet in my room, and then all of a sudden Rey has it.
So Snoke,
the shit like that.
Snoke was
really
supposed
annoying.
to like Snoke, I guess, was connecting their minds, but Snoke never really actually had anything to do with anything because Palpatine had control of Snoke because Snoke was a clone of nothing.
He was a clone of nothing of Palpatine's DNA. That was like the explanation, right? That was like,
yeah, I guess
Snoke was only powerful because he had like a fraction of Palpatine's DNA.
That's my whole what the fuck. How are you just gonna bring Palpatine
back into the shit? Like he didn't die or anything,
right?
Like that. I understand like the Force Ghost emphasis on everything. They did that for both sides of it.
I'm sorry,
you don't bring him back.
You don't just throw a motherfucker down a goddamn reactor like well and shit, and then kick his dog, and then boom, he comes fucking back.
But then again, they did that with Darth Maul. Darth Maul got cut in half and thrown down a fucking reactor and came back.
But one, he didn't fall down a goddamn reactor.
Okay, it was.
He just fell down a goddamn long hallway. Motherfucker just didn't have his goddamn legs.
Even Luke survived that shit.
Exactly.
So,
shit.
Yeah.
And all he did was he lost his legs, but it's a lightsaber, so he was instantly cauterized. Motherfucker ain't got a dick no more, but rest of his internal organs.
He got a metal one.
Rest of his internal organs still there.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he was good to go. Yeah, he was fine. Took off his motherfucking legs, fell down a shaft. He like army crawled his way back to some place, you know?
Through the mud and everything.
I mean, his legs fell with him. He probably grabbed his dick one more time. He's like, I can't feel it. But there's still some blood circulating in there.
This is technically a hand job.
But yeah, no, there's so much bad shit to say. We should have just started with the bad shit about.
Honestly, we could have just started with the bad shit about everything. That's like a whole episode in itself.
Anybody listening to this, Palpatine coming back is the dumbest fucking thing they ever could have done in Star Wars.
Yes.
Dumbest fucking thing.
Because didn't he like Rise of
Skywalker?
Didn't he like use his like Force lightning to like
destroy like an entire armada of ships?
Oh my god!
Because he's just now that powerful.
Stupid. That was so stupid.
No. The Knights of Ren were dumb. The fucking
because why
she passed him a lightsaber through the Force.
That's that shit that I'm talking about.
Like you can like now you're a mine.
Now you can just pass. Now you can just pass physical things through the Force and just like, oh, yep, the Force.
Dude,
that's like your cop out.
Blow it out your ass. Like, what are you, the same fucking person? You shove a lightsaber into your asshole and then he can grab it out of his. Like, come on now. Don't put that in the episode. That was dumb. But
that was still some bullshit though.
Yeah, no. Let's look forward to like future Star Wars because present shit has not been that great. After Obi-Wan was good. Andor was good.
Couldn't tell you that much because I didn't watch it.
But Ahsoka. Ahsoka looks like it's going to be badass.
I'm very biased on this point because
I mean you have to be.
I watched Star Wars: The Clone Wars, even the movie. I watched Star Wars Rebels all season. Like I watched that shit. Granted, I was a kid growing up, so it like made it easier. But I watched that shit. Like it was.
So what are you hoping for?
What I'm hoping for is.
I'm hoping that Rosario Dawson kind of just drops everything.
You mean, like drops her clothes?
Pervert. You pervert.
I'm just thinking like you.
Yes.
Exactly. Now, Ahsoka. What am I hoping from Ahsoka? Well, for one, because in Star Wars Rebels, they did show really like impressive scene. I'm sure you've seen like the cliff notes of it, but they did show an interaction between Ahsoka and Darth Vader, and this is like
Yes, I do know that.
like this was the point where it was like she interacted with Darth Vader, and then she was like, "This isn't just Darth Vader. This is Anakin. Like this is my master. This is like who trained me to be who I am today." And then there's also the influence of Anakin was the Jedi who was, after they had framed Ahsoka for a lot of other shit, to try to bring her back into the Jedi Council, but she said to him, to his face, saying that I can't trust this council. This is not where I need to be. This is essentially what sent her down the path of being a great Jedi. So when you ask like what do I look for when it comes to this, that's like it's a good question, because it's like I don't know if I want to look for an explanation of what it took for her to get to where she is as a Grey Jedi, or an explanation of now that she is a Grey Jedi, what happens next. I'm like I teeter between the two.
Yeah, though I mean, obviously we already know that they say it in the trailer. She's going after
right.
Thrawn,
Right.
which I'm
don't even get me
stupid
started
excited for.
Don't even get me started about that.
My pants can only get so tight.
I watched Star Wars Rebels too, and
So
like
my
the
mother
ending of that shit.
My mother reads the books. Like I've gotten through like most of them, but Thrawn, dude, I'm just stupid.
Like,
I'm hoping I hope they spare no expense when it comes to this Thrawn.
Yes, because they really have to go in, because Thrawn is like emphasized as one, just like his race of just like the sheer superiority in the intellect of their race when 100%. It comes to the mindset of just warfare and just
but then even just Thrawn's ruthlessness.
Yes, but that's where Thrawn's personality comes into play, and it's just like holy fuck. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, if they Disney
gentle
this motherfucker,
I will be pissed, because he shouldn't be.
No,
Thrawn is that fucker.
If they give him an emotional moment,
no,
I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
Thrawn has no emotions.
No,
that is literally what they emphasize.
He's like the Spock of Star Wars, just evil.
He thinks literally logic is his only input, and because he is who he is, and he is on the side of Star Wars that he is on, his logic only applies in the domination and superiority of what force he leads. Like Thrawn is supposed to be just the ultimate general, the ultimate leader of an army that just does everything to his will and establishes his power above everything. Like, you know, like when like it's weird, like I see it like this, but when Palpatine was the one that was the head of everything, it was the Empire this, the Empire that, the Empire this. Like Thrawn is like, it's not even just about the Empire, it's just Thrawn. Like it's just him.
He's
like you
going
really,
out there to kick ass.
You're really just there to fear Thrawn. That's literally how it is. And even as like somebody who was a rebel or a Jedi, you're just like, we'll look out for this guy.
Yeah.
Like Thrawn is nobody to fuck with.
So that's what I'm really hoping that they do his character some justice, because I really want to see Thrawn jump into this shit and just fucking own it, tear it up.
Yeah,
really want to see it. That's what I'm truly hoping for. Although
then,
I do want to see Ahsoka.
Right. Of course.
I think Rosario Dawson was probably one of the best fucking castings that you could ever find for this character.
Very much so.
I mean, I might be a little bit biased. She's on my Cinco.
I don't blame you for that one.
She's like number 1 on my Cinco. Rosario Dawson, please, for the love of God, if you ever hear this.
If you ever hear this episode, don't sleep with Brandon. Sleep with me first and then sleep with Brandon.
He's young. I'm old.
Okay. I got more energy. I last longer. Duh. But, you know, going back to...
She's probably the... I think they did the casting right because of, like, the age of Ahsoka that she would be at this point in time.
At this point in time, yep.
Just her style, everything. And plus, Rosario Dawson is a badass. She's just pure badassery.
And I've seen Suits. Pulls it off like a motherfucker.
She's just fucking great. She's absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
Did you say Suits?
She's Rosario. Yeah, she's in Suits.
The TV show?
Yeah.
She's not in Suits.
I'm pretty sure. I thought she was.
She's not in Suits. Which lady are you thinking of? Are you thinking of Meghan Markle?
What's her name?
Rosario Dawson. You're thinking of their boss.
Yeah. They have like the same jawline, so I got confused.
You jackass.
Hey man, black people all look the same. Don't worry. Okay.
Do you look in the mirror and think you're looking at Denzel?
No, I think Idris Elba.
Oh, shit, if only.
Yeah, you're right about that.
No, yeah. So fucking. Sorry, can't get over that. Fucking Rosario, unbelievably beautiful, unbelievably talented actress. I don't think anybody else probably would have been able to pull off this character for the style, the age, and just the overall thought process of the character.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking of Gina Torres.
I haven't even seen this show yet, and I'm already expecting that she's just going to fucking
kill it.
Just kill it. She's going to be the Wolverine Hugh Jackman equivalent.
Oh yeah.
For Ahsoka.
I can see that very much happening. But another thing is because I've seen Star Wars Rebels somewhat recently, like within the past 5 years. I've seen like the entirety of Star Wars Rebels, and obviously after seeing the trailers and just like what type of like direction they're heading in, like the space whales. The space whales was a giant emphasis for me, because that is where Star Wars Rebels left off. Mm-hmm. Because Ezra and Thrawn, because obviously the space whales were the foundation for hyperspace. Yeah. So 1 for that emphasis, 2 for like when I finished Star Wars Rebels, it was just like, okay, they went with these space whales into hyperdrive, but like how the fuck did they get back? What happens? Like, what's the aftermath essentially?
Yeah.
And so to see them take the cartoon animation adaptation and bring that to just live action show, it's just like, what are they gonna do with this? Because obviously we know Thrawn is back, and they hint at Ezra's like existence. So
they show it in the trailer,
right? Because they show both his hologram, both his painting, and then both like the hints at his actual character existing. It's just like, holy shit, what is gonna happen? Because they did it so well that I was like left at the end of the show of just like, damn.
This is definitely one of those.
What is gonna happen next?
This is that show that people have been like waiting for.
Yeah.
To see in live action, because it's one of those. We saw it so long ago, or like most people saw it so long ago, and it's now becoming a like reality. But not only that, like, so like when you see things like cartoons and whatnot that are canon, it's like, cool, yeah, it's canon, but do you relate to it as much as you would if it's something that's live action?
It's difficult to say.
It is, because I don't want to say that you don't, because there's a lot of people out there in the world that do look at it and be like, no, that's fucking canon. Like, fuck you, you're a dumbass.
As long as it's canon, it matters.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm one of those people, like, I see something animated, I'm down for it. It's cool. but it's usually hard for me to make the connection, only because I'm wired differently. I guess. Maybe I'm dead inside.
Maybe.
But like, okay, like quick sidebar, fucking Spider-Man across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, that like combats that entirely because
because
that shit.
that's full on fucking canon, but it's so good.
Yeah.
So I can, I guess I can see kind of both sides of the entire thing.
Definitely.
So I will never ever once say that, that the shows don't deserve a watch or anything like that. They were hard for me to get through only because I'm not big into kid shit.
Rightfully so, because
it's not kid shit.
It wasn't kid shit, but it was definitely presented as so.
Yeah.
I definitely, because I was like, as like a young teenager when Clone Wars like finished, so it was like a lot easier for me to get into because I was just like, it's Star Wars, but it's also like animated. I can like easily get into this.
Yeah, I tried watching it with my kid, and then he just, I don't know, he was disinterested and walked away, and then I sat there and watched it. But then when they started saying that like everything was canon, they started throwing all these characters and stories back out there into the universe. I was like, well, fuck, like I'm doing something wrong. I gotta get back into this shit.
Right. But like at the same time, having been someone who watched like the entirety of it, it was still Star Wars. Like even though it was like animated, the way that everything was still presented and like the way the story was told and the pacing of it all was still very much Star Wars. Because
all right, motherfucker. So I got a question for you.
Yeah. Okay. Shoot.
Do you think that because they're doing this shit now, which I think it's awesome, I think it's fucking cool that they're doing this shit now, you think we might see a KOTOR in our motherfucking future?
Don't say that shit. don't.
Come on, no, seriously. Like, how?
We have to see a KOTOR. Like,
how badass would it be if they did a fucking goddamn Darth Vader story?
Anything.
Just
my pants are getting tight. Because holy shit.
Spoiler alert for anybody that doesn't know this.
Are you going to talk about Revan? Is that why it's a spoiler alert?
Yes.
Dude, if you don't know about Revan, what the fuck is wrong?
I don't know what the fuck you're doing listening to this shit.
What is wrong with you?
So, when KOTOR first came out, Knights of the Old Republic was a huge fucking thing. My brother was playing the game, and I was playing the game after him whenever I got the opportunity. So I was still, I was a good, 3-4 fucking chapters behind him.
Right.
And I remember I'm sitting there in my room. This was in Texas. I was a junior in high school, and I remember my door just swinging open. Good thing, I wasn't abusing myself or anything, because the door just fucking swings open, and my brother's standing there, and he's like, "I'm Darth Revan." I'm like, what? And he's like, "Dude, I'm fucking Darth Revan." I'm like, the fuck
what are you talking about?
He's like, "Dude, fucking come here. We run back to the fucking room, and then he spoils the whole end of the fucking game for me. Whole end of the fucking
fuck
game.
Where you're at.
Right?
I'm at the important part.
Tells me that he's the fucking Darth Revan, or he's fucking Darth Revan, all this shit. I'm like, dude, I haven't beaten the fucking game. I'm so mad. Of course,
didn't give two shits.
I still played it. I still, I still did it all, but I still think that to this day it is probably the best Star Wars story that you are going to find out there. I think it is unbelievably, it's unparalleled. If they did a Darth Revan story, I think my pants would explode.
I'm right there with you.
They would have to. There's no way they couldn't.
It's Darth fucking Revan. Darth Revan is probably one of the most intricate and interesting stories.
Can I top you off, so?
Most intricate and interesting stories that they have ever put out.
So one of my favorite things to do ever is to just have, drink, but have a nice glass of bourbon and put on a Star Wars movie.
That sounds like a good time to me.
That's a good way to relax.
That's a very good way.
I feel like there's certain bourbons or certain whiskeys, hell, even just certain alcohols for different Star Wars movies.
They just fit well. I have to agree with you on that one.
Empire Strikes Back, I think, gets a nice a good, because I know how to speak English. Gin and tonic, vodka martini. Granted, I'm going based off of just the Hoth scene alone.
Hey man, I just want to say that, and also for all of those that you are out there, Star Wars fan and whatnot, there is a video on YouTube, the full story of Darth Revan explained, 40 minutes long.
I watched that.
I did too.
Pretty good.
I've watched it twice, actually.
Darth Revan was the only one who wears a Mandalorian fucking helmet.
He's so dynamic, like his character is just he wears a Mandalorian mask that he earned
from killing Mandalore the Great.
Mandalore's like ruler.
Mandalore the Great.
Yes. Like literally
The Great? I can't remember.
I don't know, but it was like Mandalore was in his name. Like it was that significant. One, that's just 1 point. Mm-hmm. 2, was a Jedi, not just a Jedi, but one of the fucking strongest of his time.
And 2, trained most of the Jedi, which is why he killed so many fucking
Exactly. Because he knew everything that they knew because he taught it to them. 3, became a Sith. 4, became a Sith and trained a lot of Sith. 4, in quotation marks, died and got brought back a Jedi while they deleted his memories using the Force to suppress it. And then got his memories back and became a great Jedi. Like, it's just such a dynamic story that touches both sides of the Force, both the light side of the Force and the dark side of the Force. One reason why people love Anakin so much is because he starts off as very much like Dooku, as a Jedi who becomes a Sith. People love that storyline.
Oh,
because a Jedi who becomes a Sith is just like they just love the fact that it's like they want to do good, but then they realize that the good that they're doing isn't good at all. So they go to the dark side.
It kind of makes you think like, is Obi-Wan just blind?
Essentially, because then now you start to question Obi-Wan's morals. Well, not essentially his morals.
Not his morals, but like his religion, his path.
Yeah, exactly. His path. His
is he following a blind faith?
Exactly.
Or is he following a faith blindly?
Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
Because I mean, like Yoda and everybody else, but then like you see somebody as wise and as powerful as Yoda.
Because it's like,
how could he be wrong?
How could he be wrong? How could he be deceived?
Right.
But when you start to question that, you look at Darth Revan.
That's why Star Wars is such an interesting fucking story.
It has so many layers.
It's the only story that I can think of that actually plays deeply in between both sides of the archetype. Yes. The light versus the dark.
Light versus
which
dark.
one is actually
But then the gray area as well. It's something that depicts the light being equal to the dark, but then the gray area being equal to both.
The Gray Jedi reminds me, like, the Gray Jedi would be like a regular man with power.
Yeah, essentially.
Somebody that has good, somebody that has evil, but is willing to utilize both for their own path.
Right. And not even necessarily their own path, because taking it back to Ahsoka, she's not really about her own path. She's about the right path.
So, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
God, I just have so much to look forward to when it comes to that.
If they do a Revan story,
one, they better not fuck it up, because you will hear about it on this podcast if they fuck it up.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, God, please, Revan, please.
I think
Jon Favreau, make this happen. Dave Filoni, make this happen.
I think Ahsoka is a great start, because that will establish the...
They're doing an Old Republic story.
Yeah, but we just don't know what yet.
Yeah, well, they're doing the Acolyte.
Right, that's right.
And then they're going to do...
But if they do the Acolyte... No matter what, Revan has an influence.
He's going to show.
He has to show.
If you're doing the Acolyte...
He has to show.
If you're doing an Old Republic story, movie... show, whatever the fuck, he has to show.
He has to show.
No, he can't. My thing is, who the fuck are you going to cast to play?
Keanu. It has to be Keanu.
He's already in The Acolyte.
He better be fucking Revan then.
Yeah.
Like, Keanu Reeves is Darth Revan.
If they cast him as Revan, my pants will explode.
Haven't they put him as Revan in some other shit? Or at least like
fan castings and things like that.
That was okay. It was a fan cast.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. They need to do that shit.
It'd be fucking amazing. But
that's like a nerd boner everywhere.
Okay, now that there's been enough time for editing and things like that, let's find a way to close this out.
I'm there for it.
But
yeah, so I mean, after everything that we've discussed, the many different, or I guess the large timeline of the Star Wars universe as we know it.
We have done the PPF. We have done the past. Empire Strikes Back always will be, and for me, forever will always be Empire Strikes Back.
Pinnacle
is number one.
That is the pinnacle. That is what
Irvin Kershner put that shit in lock the moment he published that movie.
Mm-hmm.
That is Star Wars.
Yeah.
Hands down. Don't get me wrong, A New Hope is a great movie. Return of the Jedi, great fucking movie. I don't know what George Lucas was smoking when he did 1, 2, and 3, but 3
or
was
7, 8, 9.
Or was a good movie. He never did 7, 8, 9.
Well,
J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams did, but they, for some reason, whatever crack, heroin, meth they were smoking, they said that shit was canon.
One we didn't talk. We touched base on it for just like a quick segment. One we didn't talk about was Rogue One, and that was an absolutely phenomenal Star Wars story of a movie. That was grand.
But that wasn't one of any of the trilogy, which is really impressive.
Well, so that was the thing. Like they kept saying, like, well, this is not a Star Wars movie. It's a Star Wars story because it has nothing to do with
the actual trilogy.
Jedi. Itself. No, it had nothing to do with the Skywalker storyline.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
Which made sense, but you still show a Skywalker in the fucking movie.
Because Rey was in the movie.
Not Rey. Darth Vader.
I'm sorry. What was? You'd have to explain Rogue One.
Rogue One was when it's the team that goes and gets the plans for the Death Star.
Oh.
It's right before 4.
Oh.
So it's in between 3 and 3 and 4.
3 and 4. Right, but they did it way after.
Way after.
But the timeline had said that it was. Holy shit. The timeline had said that it was between. Was it between 4 and 5 or 3 and 4?
3 and 4.
3 and 4. Okay.
In between 3 and 4, because they get the plans to the Death Star. They go to Scarif. The main. God, now I can't think of it. Damn it, alcohol. The main character of the movie.
Speaking of,
her father is the main engineer of the Death Star, and then he sends her a coded message. Cheers. Tells her that he left a weakness within the Death Star. She needs to find it. So they go to Scarif, find the plans. A huge battle breaks out, which they do a huge KOTOR Easter egg.
Right.
And they bring on a Hammerhead Corvette and smash a Star Destroyer into another Star Destroyer. That is from Knights of the Old Republic.
I remember seeing that shit. Yeah. I've seen that shit.
Which I have to give it to The Mandalorian because they do another Easter egg towards KOTOR when they bring out the vibro blades.
Oh yeah,
their knives are vibro blades.
That is definitely
and they make them look just badass. So
that was a great depiction of that.
Oh man, it was fucking great. The attention to detail and the artistry that they've done in the present now. I'm not talking about 7, 8, and 9.
Right.
But the TV shows.
Fuck 7, 8, 9.
Filoni and Favreau, the things that they've done, it's been really, really enjoyable watching how they've taken the old Star Wars just stories and everything else and incorporated it into what we're watching today.
Yeah.
To bring, like, some people don't even realize that they're watching some of this shit, that it's history of Star Wars. They don't even realize it. And I think that's fucking beautiful. And then now they're pushing it forward with the animations towards Ahsoka, and I think that's just going to be so badass.
But then even down to them implementing Thrawn into Ahsoka.
Oh man,
it's there's
even
layers.
when they said Thrawn in Mando,
it's layers to this shit.
Oh, so many layers. It's just so great. So yeah, I mean,
there's layers.
I don't even know what the fuck else I can say about it. Like, it's just so good.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
I'm excited. Very much excited.
Then.
So yeah.
Let's just close it out then.
Yeah. I mean, on that note, I think this is a great episode of Old and New. We were able to capture the old in 1 through 6, if you will, and the new in 7, 8, 9, but also Ahsoka and Clone Wars and Rebels.
How we did good. So, what platforms can we find us on?
We can find us on YouTube. I will have the links in the description. Make it a little bit easier for you guys. I'm gonna find a way to promote this on Twitch. Not too sure how that's gonna work out. But yeah, so gonna find us on YouTube.
You can find us on YouTube. Eventually, we will be on Spotify.
Yeah, we'll figure that one out.
This Ahsoka might be out by the time we are on Spotify, but you can find us on Spotify.
You'll find us on YouTube before the Ahsoka show is out.
You should at least be able to find our link on Twitch, and that will take you straight to our YouTube and if not our Spotify. Yeah. We are always talking about movies, always talking about music, photography, food. We have the whole point of all this is, we are talking about what's old, what's new, what's now, what's fun. We are also, we got a few new things coming. Hope you guys stick with us. We love to do food. We love to do.
Hey, speaking of that one, look out for a food episode on the next one.
Definitely. Well, 100%. Mm-hmm. Talk about what we're cooking that night, what we're eating that night, what we're watching that night. And what we're drinking that night. So I hope you guys come back. I hope you guys enjoy it. And cheers.
On that note, cheers.